Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I would like to cover The Invincible Iron Man number 83, published in 1975 by Marvel Comics. This one says it all on the cover, folks. If I can't break free, that flying buzzsaw will slash me to ribbons. Then you're finished, Shellhead. No one can escape my super apes. The rage of the Red Ghost. So it's probably been a failing of mine on this channel not to include more comics with apes. Of course, I have covered perhaps my favorite Conan comic, Rogues in the House, Conan number 11, featuring Thak the Ape. And if we think about it and go through the episodes, there's probably been a few others that have had various apes. I don't know if I've really done any solid coverage on Gorilla Grodd yet from DC, but we'll have to correct that oversight as well. But for this issue, we have the Red Ghost in his crazy 70s reimagining, complete with the medallion and his three super apes, which are pictured here, although the baboon is transformed into a buzzsaw on the cover. And you'll notice, too, that this is the Invincible Iron Man with the nose plate, which is a bit unfortunate. I really love the art in this issue, and we're going to get to that in a second. But Stan Lee walked into the offices one day, legend has it, and said, "Why does an Iron Man have a nose? He needs to have a nose." So for a few months, they had to draw him with a nose, and then suddenly they just said, "This is dumb. We're not doing this anymore." And Stan seemingly forgot his own edict. So that's how the story goes anyway. If you know of another story of that tale, let me know. All right, so here we are, The Rage of the Red Ghost. Len Wein, writer-editor, Herb Trimpe and Marie Severin, illustrators, Glynis Wein, colorist, and John Costanza, letterer. So we get a pretty interesting combination here of Herb Trimpe and Marie Severin, two of my favorite artists. I mention them a lot on the channel. I just love them. They're both great. What a storyteller Herb Trimpe is. First, he is falling, battered almost senseless, in his struggle with the super apes, plunging helplessly from the roof of Tony Stark's penthouse apartment towards the sidewalk, waiting so very far below. Then he feels the impact, gleaming armor smashing savagely into the pavement, and the sound of twisting metal is truly terrible to hear. So great splash page. We're starting in media res here. So apparently, in the previous issue, Iron Man was battling the super apes sent by the Red Ghost to this swanky party that he was attending with Tony Stark. And I said with Tony Stark because, as we see, Iron Man survives. But is it Iron Man? No, it is Happy Hogan, and there's Pepper Potts. And he was acting the role of Iron Man, so Tony Stark and Iron Man could be in the same place at the same time. And in an inopportune moment, the super apes showed up and kicked his butt and kidnapped Tony Stark. So that brings you up to speed from the last issue, issue 82, which we don't have and haven't covered on the show. But here we are. I love Trimpe's pencils, as I've said before. On any given day, he easily falls into my top 5 pencilers of all time for my money, just as a consummate storyteller. But I really like the effect of Marie Severin's inks on, and you can really see it in some of these panels, softening some of Trimpe's harder edges. Really nice. And we have Michael O'Brien here, who's a cop at this time, but he's going to become the guardsman. That he's going to have a version of Iron Man's armor that's kind of green, not as powerful. Again, you can see clearly the Marie Severin marks on her over Trimpe's pencils here in this panel. So he wants to know what's going on too, but Pepper Potts puts him off, and then Happy gets himself together enough to put the helmet back on and satisfy O'Brien's curiosity, because he wants to solve the mystery of Tony Stark as well. He thinks he staged his own kidnapping. We'll get to that in another issue if we ever cover it, because that's the last we're going to see of O'Brien in this issue. In biblical times, 'tis said, the prophet Jonah was swallowed by a whale as punishment for his sins. But frankly, friend, Jonah had nothing on this. For deep beneath the murky waters of Long Island Sound, a latter-day whale sits in silence. Okay, Ghost, you've got me. The question now is, what do you plan to do with me? You make it sound so melodramatic, Stark. I assure you, your life is in no jeopardy, so long as you do precisely as I command. You see, Stark, after my last defeat, I decided to increase my cosmic ray spawn powers, but my experiments went a trifle awry. I am now trapped in this phantom state, completely immaterial, unable to touch a single thing. So that happened in Defenders number 8, according to the editorial note. So he has kidnapped Stark because Stark possesses a device, and I believe it is called, yes, my only hope for a cure lies in the cosmotronic cannon I learned you are constructing. But when I sent a squad of hand-picked mercenaries to your factory to steal the plans for the machine, your accursed armored bodyguard prevented them from accomplishing their mission. That also happened in the previous issue. So he set up a lab on his giant sub for Stark to build the cosmotronic cannon here, but Stark convinces him that it's not, he doesn't have their necessary materials, so they go to break into Stark International headquarters. And he convinces them kind of in a funny moment here. My super apes are going to be right beside you at all times, and at the first sign of treachery, they'll tear you apart. So we have a gorilla, an orangutan, and a baboon. The gorilla possesses vast superhuman strength, about equal to the things. The orangutan possesses super magnetism, and the baboon can shapeshift into anything, and we're going to see that here. This is about as far as we can go, Ghost. That fence is electrified, so a little impediment such as that poses no problem for us, though I'm sure you hoped it would. So here we see the apes strutting their stuff. Real great use of the orangutan's powers here. And of course the ghost just walks through the fence. Now what say we get on to the more important business. Better make a mental note to plug those holes in my security system once I get out of this mess. Assuming, of course, I do get out of it. Shortly. Satisfied now, Kragoff? Here it is. If anything can cure you, it'll be the cosmotronic cannon. Stop talking about it, Stark, and use it. It isn't as simple as that, mister. This is the only working model, and it hasn't been tested yet. Unless you want to take the chance of scattering your atoms all over the landscape, you'd better let me make some adjustments. Then make them, Stark, but be quick about it. If you don't use that cannon on me soon, I'm liable to use it on you. Great little mini montage sequence here is Stark under pressure is adjusting the cannon. And then here, awesome Kirby crackle from the blast, and we see, congratulations, Stark, you've kept your part of our bargain, which makes it truly a shame I can't keep mine. But if that cannon can cure me, it can also be used to capture me, so I just won't sleep well until it and you are out of my way forever. Forgive me, Stark, but I can't afford to be merciful. Destroy him, my pets. So now we're about to get some awesome super ape action, folks. You know, Kragoff, I had a feeling I couldn't trust you, so I took the precaution of equipping the cannon with this. It's not much more than a simple smoke bomb, but it'll do. If you want to kill me, Ghost, you'll have to find me. So, in the smoke, the apes stumble around. They see what they think is the figure of Stark, but sorry, Red, but Mr. Stark couldn't stay. Would you settle for me? Iron Man. It's been a long time since our last little get-together, Ghost. A shame it wasn't longer. Ugh. So Iron Man rams him here. Lo, those many years ago in Iron Man 15 to 16. So this was a long time ago when he last appeared in Iron Man's magazine. Obviously, you survived your battle with my super apes earlier this evening. Of course, we know, folks, that was Happy Hogan. But then, the Red Ghost was not present to direct them. This time, you have it a prayer. So again, on this long panel, we can really see the effects of Marie Severan's inks here, and they're really cool. And then great power usage here by the orangutan. Magnetic field, as strong as an oversized vacuum cleaner, pulling me off my feet and I can't fight it. Gotta break free before, well, so much for that. Krang. So he's pinned Stark to some equipment. That's it, my pet. Use your power precisely as I say. Keep battering that iron-garbed fool against the walls until he is pulped inside his metal shell. So, pretty great. As Iron Man's flipping around, he's able to square up. Let his magnetic field flip me over till I'm pointed right at him. Then, pow, did it. My repulsor blast caught him full in the chest, forced him to drop his magnetic assault. Now all I have to do is drop him. Chittering angrily, the anthropoid rises to his feet, only to be swiftly felled once more by a single blow from a gleaming iron fist. Splow! So he knocks the orangutan out. That's one ape down. Not going to read any letters from Socket to Shellhead, but what a great letters column title. And of course, we have our value stamp. I just covered the value stamp book a couple episodes ago. Check that one out. Really cool volume that covers the history and shows pictures of every Marvel value stamp. This is Series B, when you had to cut them out to assemble a larger picture. All right. Well, that's one down, and two, what hit me? A flying steel ball? What? The ball has disappeared, and now there's a gleaming battle axe coming at me. Not so fast. Whew, just in time. Stopped the axe, but it cost me my new SX2507 mini computer. This little slugfest is beginning to grow expensive. We can see here Stark's mini computer is about the size of a television from the mid to late 1980s. It looks maybe twice as heavy as well. I only lured the Red Ghost to the plant so I could get to my spare Iron Man outfit. But the situation here is starting to become critical. Oh, come on. Okay, that cuts it. So here we have a little shot kind of calling back to our cover. I flat out refuse to believe a flying buzzsaw. So here, Stark uses his unibeam to blind the baboon and force him to transform back into his normal state, and he knocks him out. Sorry, Charlie, but showtime is over. I'm ringing down the curtain as of now. Shuffling behind me, have to move before, your employer may have escaped me in all that smoke, Avenger, but you won't be so lucky. The powers of the other apes are as nothing compared to the awesome strength of my gorilla. Lord, he's as strong as I am, maybe stronger. But I doubt he knows much about the martial arts. And while I'm not exactly an expert myself, it isn't all that hard to break King Kong's hold then. Wrong. Miserable ape didn't hesitate. He just came right back with a second attack. He won't give me a chance to catch my breath. Won't let me get my balance. He just keeps pounding, pummeling. Even my armor can't withstand this sort of punishment for long. It's starting to give, starting to buckle under the strain. If I'm going to make my move to save myself, it has to be now. Zack. So he blasts him. My repulsor blast forced the ape to drop me as I planned. He should never have charged me. Not that I'm all that anxious to become Harry's combat coach, mind you. All I really want to be is rid of him. So he knocks him out as well. And then here we have an interesting moment. All right, Ghost, your three shaggy playmates are out for the count. That just leaves you and me. And soon there will only be me, you armored buffoon. I was about to dispose of the cosmotronic cannon when you blundered upon the scene earlier. Now perhaps I can eliminate two of Tony Stark's birds with one mechanical stone. I've never known the Red Ghost to have superhuman strength, but I mean, it looks like here, I mean, he's hefting this. It has to be hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of equipment. Great looking panel, but I don't know that the Ghost has this power, but it's cool in the moment. Only if you hit me with a cannon, Baldy, and I'm not about to let you do that. You've had your shot, Ghost. Now I'll have mine. I wouldn't bother if I were you, Avenger. Nothing on Earth can harm me so long as I possess the power to become immaterial. A power your employer just restored to me. Stark warns him or I should say Iron Man warns him not to do it. Ghost, no, that isn't the reason, isn't it? Then suppose we just find out. All I have to do is concentrate, allow myself to become intangible, and then we will see how you fare against, the transformation. I can't control it. Can't stop it. Can't hold myself together. Feel like I'm being torn apart. Stark tricked me. He tricked me. I tried to warn him, but he just wouldn't listen. My cannon cured him well enough, but it was a one-way proposition. He could never use his power again without destroying himself. Hello, security. This is Iron Man. Better send a cleanup crew down to Sublab 4. And while you're at it, contact Nick Fury and tell his SHIELD boys to send over 3 null cages. I've got 3 new candidates for the zoo that he will not believe. And here you can see in this panel just the ridiculousness of the nose piece in the Iron Man armor here. Just an unfortunate edict from Stan that, again, went by the wayside fairly quickly. So now we have our epilogue here to the story, and we can see we're left on a bit of a cliffhanger as Happy Hogan seems to once more succumb to the injuries sustained in the beginning of the book. Good Lord, what's happened to him? For the answer to that and other more startling questions, be here on The Night of the Walking Bomb. So I don't know if this was a fill-in that Herb Trimpe did. Oh, I love this Evel Knievel ad. A neighbor of ours had Evel Knievel, and we played with that toy a ton. It was great. I don't know if this was a fill-in for Trimpe or if he did a few issues. But yeah, it was a great issue, a lot of fun. I love this Big Jim's Pack ad from Jack Kirby. Great artwork here from Kirby, making a bit of money on the side, outside of comics and toy design. Really cool. And they were great toys, too. But yeah, this was a fun issue with some cool villains. A great look at the Red Ghost in his 1970s rework costume from his weird 60s red jumpsuit to this medallion-wearing, open-chested version. And of course, Super Apes are always awesome. So I was glad to cover this issue. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reed Comics. Thanks for watching.